And so now everyone wants me to go back to Mexico.
Yeah, go back to Mexico.
Welcome back to Beyond the Diamond. ALDS tied 1-1. Vibes are vibes. Figuring it out.
Vibes are sure vibes.
The boys are going back to Minnesota.
Minnesota.
We have Josh in studio. We have no producer behind the camera today. And this episode is brought to you by Big City Wings. Big City Wings, Apollo's Wing Joint, Houston's Wing Joint, 13 convenient locations. Yeah, I mean, with the games being on the middle of the week, playoffs, 2 for Tuesdays, bone in or boneless, double up your wings.
Good little thing. Go.
And then Wednesdays is what we do, bro. Burgers, $8 special burgers, baby.
That
sourdough bread. So shout out Big City Wings, and also Celebrity Mint, Kenny Duncan Jr., Matthew Duncan will be at Comic Con this Saturday with the man
Saturday,
himself.
Huh? That's coming up quick.
Woo! Ric Flair. They're dropping a ton of pieces. Go follow them at The Celebrity Mint on Instagram. They actually just gave tickets away. We did collaborations with them for playoff tickets for ALDS Game 2.
Another reason to follow them on Instagram and us, because
there's always giveaways.
We're always giving away.
Just giving away.
Some lady got 2 free tickets to ALDS
really
game.
nice seats, like section 126. Ooh. 10 rows up.
Can we get those to me?
Yeah. And then our final sponsor for this episode today is Zing Zang Bloody Mary, made with vodka, all ready to use in the traditional blazing Bloody Mary mix. If you're a Bloody Mary fan, this is an instant thing to have to start off your day, start off your mornings, brunching with the boys, brunching with the ladies. Yeah, get the #1 Bloody Mary mix in America. Now it's on fire with the blazing Bloody Mary mix. So shout out to our sponsors. Series is tied 1-1. The split happened in Houston. Didn't range from perspective of both sides, with Houston struggling at home. 1-1's okay compared to the year it was.
Yeah, that's true.
And Minnesota getting home field advantage with 3 games left and not wanting to come back to Houston. So game 1, let's just jump into that. Justin Verlander was Justin Verlander, and he was the reason why we're here.
Yeah, I mean, he's exactly the reason why he was worth that trade. And you know, it sucks trading away 2 of your top prospects, but we're probably not in the playoffs, and we're definitely, you know, I don't know who Framber pitches game 1, and then we probably lose that, and who pitches game, like, our rotation is just, I mean, not even playoff caliber without Justin Verlander in it. So
100%.
He did exactly what you want him to do. He goes 6 innings,
no earned runs. Was in trouble early, got out of it. It felt like
it's just
the first
a patented Justin Verlander start.
3-4 innings, the Twins had a lot of traffic on, and he just kept getting ground balls, which Justin Verlander doesn't get ground balls.
But he was effectively wild.
Yes,
he was kind of all over the place, but he was missing out of the zone, so it wasn't dangerous. I mean, the walks were dangerous, but he wasn't leaving anything hanging really. You know, just that tick up into velocity was true.
It's huge.
I mean, he was still 95, 96, which, you know, at some points of the season you saw him throwing like 93 on average. So, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you want from him.
Yeah, and I think on the other side too is first pitch swinging. Jose Altuve hits a tank, moves to second all time in the postseason home runs.
And he has all time. Was all-time first pitch home runs, first pitch leadoff home runs of the postseason. Like he's done it more than anybody ever in baseball, which is crazy.
And I think the tail of the tape, or for at least the first 2 games here in Houston, for the Astros side, was good pitching from Justin Verlander, your starter, and your offense. Your guys were dudes. Obviously, 9 hits, game 1, 6 runs. Breggy was 1 for 3. Alvarez was 2 for 3. Tucker was 1 for 4. Abreu was 1 for 3. Brantley was 1 for 3. Altuve with a home run. And on the flip side, you had the Twins battle back late. They put that 4 spot on Hector Neris with the Polanco home run and the Royce Lewis home run. But then you had Abreu and Presley just do what Brian Abreu and Brian Presley do in the playoffs and shut down innings.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue both these games were determined by kind of like 5 individual performances.
Mm-hmm.
It was Justin Verlander. It was Hector Neris. It was Carlos Correa, Pablo Lopez. I guess 4.
And Yordan.
And Yordan. Yeah, I mean, it was really just those kind of guys up against each other. I mean, last night's game, we'll get into game 2 in a bit, actually. But, yeah, I mean, Verlander won that game for us. Verlander and Yordan. I mean, that's all you need.
Yeah, and I think with game 1 going the way it did, the second Yordan homer, because he had 2 in game 1, was kind of the perfect counterpunch back, because they definitely landed a punch.
Yeah.
After making it seemingly it was 5-0, you blinked, it was 5-4. That home run was huge. I think the way Abreu and Presley on the back end, obviously Neris, I feel like it's an outlier. Neris has usually been pretty stones.
I mean, anytime you give up a 3-run bomb like that, it's just like it's one mistake.
Yeah.
And then it compounded with he made a bad pitch again because he was probably upset. But overall, I'm not worried.
Yeah, and the other side was definitely getting those runs late. I think was confident. Even though they didn't win game 1, the Twins offense was like, okay, we can be in this series. We put up a 4 spot late.
For sure.
And I think that carried over into the momentum in the first few innings against Framber in game 2. And that's where we kind of shift. Framber Valdez versus Pablo Lopez, the ace for the Twins, who they sent the AL batting title champion away to acquire Pablo Lopez. Gave him the extension. I think they gave him like $72 million.
Yeah. They almost, I mean, I don't know if it was fully on purpose. It also had to do with rest. But it almost feels like they semi-punted game 1 to set up a better chance to win game 2 and at least split.
Yeah, it was
I wouldn't be
interesting.
surprised if there was a little strategy behind that.
Yeah, it was interesting going Bailey Ober game 3. Obviously, he's had a decent season, but our guy Joe John Ryan, definitely thought I was gonna get the ball game 1, but the Pablo Lopez start was something just you have to tip your cap. The guy was good. He was really, really, really good, and on a night where he filled the zone up with fastballs. He attacked. I think at one point it was 19 of 21 hitters, first pitch strikes.
And we've talked about this before. You've talked about it on the podcast. If you can probably break it down better than I can, but some of the Astros, just they're professional hitters. They don't strike out. They make pitchers work. So the way you counteract that is filling up the zone, throwing strikes,
100%,
not nibbling, but like hitting those corners. And he was just on.
Yeah, and I think the best way, the antithesis for the Astros is, and we've seen it all year when they lose to the Royals, they lose to like Oakland, they lose these like weird one-off games or series, is when pitchers attack the Astros, then they kind of get in this rocking chair groove.
Yeah.
And it keeps them just uncomfortable. When for the longest time the Astros have always been able to keep majority of the pitchers they face, especially in October, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, the rabbit has a gun in this situation.
I mean, Bregman worked like 1 walk yesterday. But it seemed like, Bregman's the perfect ringleader, I guess, of our approach at the plate. Him and Tucker are always, they have great eyes. They're making a pitcher work. And Pablo just came at him. I mean, I don't think he threw a ball to Bregman all game. It's maybe his third at bat, but his first 2 at bats, it was fastball down, like almost down the middle, fastball down at the bottom of the zone, and then a fastball up, and he was just all in the zone. And Bregman, I think he hit him with the curve, but still, just filling up the zone, and you get knocked back on your heels a little bit.
I think the other side too is the Twins taking game 2 was probably a testament to their decisions in the offseason, which is trading for Pablo Lopez, which is to re-sign Carlos Correa for all that money. Because Correa just went 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs in a classic Mr. October Correa baseball game.
We said it on the preview. Don't let him beat you.
Don't let him beat you. And right now he has a 1,321 OPS and batting .533. Look, the game plan for the next 3 game series, essentially what this is don't let him beat you like that, and that means attacking the Solano, the Polanco, the Lewis in front to not get guys on base for Carlos, and you could pitch around him and make him get himself out.
Yeah.
Because when you guys are not throwing strikes and there's now ducks on the pond, he's gonna get the guys in. He's done it. He's done it here forever. And also, and we'll touch it because I did put a tweet out for like some fan questions. It was obviously a very popular question. Being at Game 2, it's seeing Houston fans boo him, which I look cheer for him, boom. I don't give a shit. But you have to fucking realize that we sit here on this podcast. Everyone sits on Twitter, and everyone's like, "Why do fans keep booing the Astros when they're on the road?" It fuels them up. What do you think the boos did to Carlos? How I just don't understand how naive we can be as a fan base, where you can cry about the Astros being booed and how good we play, and then boo a guy that was with us for the golden age and not expect him to be clutch when he already has the clutch gene. So
you want to know my take?
The wherewithal was, you know what the real take is. You had a bunch of fans that have not been at games.
Yeah. The take is, and what's happening is an overcorrection. You have the fans that like went the other way to go before this. There was tweets out like before this series, whatever. Oh, should we have a standing ovation for Carlos Correa?
Yeah.
Should we cheer for Carlos Correa when he comes up? So then you have fans on the other side who are like, fuck that. We're not going to cheer for him. Let's boo him. So you get these, really, we should just be treating him like he's Jorge Polanco. Like we shouldn't treat him like another player. Don't boo him. Don't cheer him. Just let him come up to bat and like normal. But it's the fans counter correction to thinking, oh, all these other fans are to cheer him, so we need to boo him.
Yeah.
And then it just it spirals into this like
when
it takes a few people to do it, and then all of a sudden, if like you said, the fans that don't go to games don't really know a lot. They hear some people booing, they're gonna start. I mean, if I go to a Texans game, I don't know a whole lot about the Texans. If I go to a Texans game, Texans fans are booing some dude.
Yeah,
I'm booing him with them. Like, fuck, who is this guy? Fuck him, boo. Like, so it's just one of those like, just crowd effects, mob effects. I don't think the majority of Astros fans think that you should boo Carlos Correa, but when you're in a stadium of 30,000 people and a few start booing, people follow.
It's like that meme, like the reap what I sow. Like he's like I'm cheering.
Oh man.
You know what I'm talking about? The tweet meme?
Yeah.
I can't remember the saying. Like reaping what you sow or whatever.
I'm sowing my reap.
Yeah, it's freaking incredibly I don't know how to say this politely. There's actually a meme that actually just my thoughts on this is like, what are you gonna, the guy, it's a 911 call and his man who was stabbed, and he goes on the 911 call, he's like, what are you gonna do, stab me?
Yeah.
Like it made zero sense. But you know what? That's just baseball. And Pablo Lopez shoved. It didn't matter what Carlos Correa did because Pablo Lopez pitched his ass off. 7 innings, 7 Ks. Yeah. And then on the other side, you had Framber Valdez, who went 4 1/3, gave up 7 hits, 5 earned, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, and gave up a home run.
I have a question for you.
That's a tell of tape.
Carlos Correa coming up that third time.
I was you're
bringing Maton?
I'm bringing Maton in.
Yeah.
I was bringing in Maton in that 5th inning regardless.
The only way I was like maybe keeping Framber in is because Framber is probably your best bet to get a double play that you needed.
Yeah.
But just on principle of Carlos, baseball momentum, feel like you do not want to face him, and especially Framber on the other side, who when he gets into struggles like that, it makes it worse, and especially if you're facing a guy who's a dog like that, who knows. I mean, to be fair, the pitch that Carlos hit was a sinker, way down out of the zone.
Yeah,
it was a good pitch,
good hitting, and he was clutch. He's clutch.
I would just rather, because you can be as clutch as you want, but if Maton hits you with the curveball he threw to strike out, the last curveball he threw to finish that inning was the nastiest curveball I've ever seen him throw. When you're hitting with that like 3,500 spin rate curveball, there's not much you can do.
This is where I was, because I'm in the stands, I'm watching the game, and I told the people around me, I was like, this is the inning that I feel like you have to put a 0 up because this is what happened. You're
Yep.
already down 3-0,
Yep.
but in that bottom of the fourth, you actually in the third and fourth, you had some traffic, but the fourth specifically, you had an opportunity to maybe steal a run, but Brantley just hit the shit out of the baseball. Tucker, everyone was mad online. Like, you got to send Tucker there.
No,
Tucker would have been out by fucking 20 feet.
Yeah, he wasn't even touching
hosed.
third by the time the left fielder had, and it's a
And
minute
he was
Maid.
coming with momentum,
Yeah,
and
he would have been out
he's
by
hosed.
a mile. There's no way you send him.
So this is where I sat. Okay, we stranded runners on the corners. It's still 3-0, but it's showing like, hey,
I said that inning. I was like, if we hold them here, the game, like, it's our game.
And up to that point, Framber was not Framber. He was not on. It was a 3-0 deficit.
He was limping for sure.
I would have had the pin up 1 or 2, go straight to the bullpen. And I think this game 2 specifically was managed differently. Rocco Baldelli managed like it was a must-win, and we managed like it was a game in August.
What are we doing with Urquidy? What are we doing with these pitchers that can go 4 innings if we're not willing to take our starter that's struggling? I know it's Framber.
Yeah.
But what are you doing when you have these starters, if they're having a bad game in the 3rd inning? What's the point of having an Urquidy, having a Hunter Brown? I mean, even a Javier, if like you want to stir things up, what's the point of having them if you're only going to throw them 1 inning in a game you're already losing? Like, throw them in there. Throw. My take was Neris should have come in that game.
Yeah, I mean,
you give him a chance to bounce back next night. He's Neris or Abreu. Like, that inning, you could argue, I could argue, I am arguing, was more pivotal than a potential 8th or 9th inning, because you don't know if you're going to get that. You don't know if you're going to get a setup position later in the game with a lead. You're not going to get that if you give up those 2 runs, and they do. So you bring in Abreu in there, shut the door, keep it a 3-run game, and then move on from there. That's what a lot of modern managers would do, and that's what I would have done.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I would.
Who cares who I am?
I would say Maton was probably the best because his numbers against righties are good. And
I liked Maton, but I was also just like, shove the door. Fucking, I'd bring in Presley. I don't care. Like, we need to
not down 3-0. That's enough.
No, down 3-0.
But the point of that game was, I thought you had to put a 0 up. They didn't. They added insurance, and all of a sudden you're down 5-0. And then with the way Pablo Lopez was back in the groove,
game was over.
It was pretty much blouses.
Yeah.
Yordan hit another tank. The only really bright spot in the 8th after a Bregman walk.
Can I say something? I'm gonna make a prediction before we'll get into the preview later. He hits another bomb tomorrow.
I don't think the Twins pitched to him. I would make everyone else beat you.
That's
because fine. you had an Altuve 2-for-4 day, but one of those was an infield bunt. Breggy 0-for-3, Tucker 0-for-3, Abreu 0-for-4, Brantley 1-for-4, Chaz 1-for-4, Pena 2-for-4.
Dude, October Pena is here.
October Pena's here. A little dancing thrust.
Yeah, what's your take on that?
I think it's being blown a little bit out of
proportion. I fucking loved it. He's the only one who's hitting off the dude. Try and rile up the hip thrust was a little much, especially since he's never done that before. To do it there is a little weird, but hyping up and getting excited about that double, I'm all about it.
Yeah, I mean,
especially to lead off an inning.
If
it was 2 outs and it's like,
I mean, then also you obviously had Correa doing his thing on the bases when he's coming up clutch on the other side. So I guess you're also gonna have that kind of competition back and forth between those two throughout the rest of their careers.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, look, it's a split series. Both aces won for their respective teams, and now it shifts to a 3-game series where it's Sonny Gray versus Christian Javier. I know all the Twin fans are probably going to be in the comments. You guys probably feel really, really good right now with Sonny Gray on the bump. The Astros have seen him quite a bit, so it's going to be really interesting. If Javi's four-seam fastballs rising, especially in the Shadows game, where I think we're all assuming the Shadows will be in play, it's going to be a pitcher's duel. I really think it's going to be like a 2-1, 3-2 type ball game.
I think because specifically on those Shadows, they should be coming across. Well, so there's in Central Time, so it should be coming across probably like 4:30, 5 o'clock. So my take is whoever wins the first 5 innings
Mm.
of Game 3 wins the series.
Ooh.
Because whoever gets into their bullpen, whether it's them with Jax and Duran and their whole back of their bullpen, or it's the Astros with Abreu, Neris, all that, whoever has a lead going into the 6th inning, I think shuts the door and wins the game.
Yeah, and I think also with Rocco managing like game 2 was a must win. I think he did put some stuff on tape with going to Stewart and going to Duran.
Yeah.
Obviously Yordan got Stewart, and I was listening to the playback this morning on my drive in, and I think Stewart only gave up 4 runs on the year, and 2 were
He was
inherited,
nasty.
and 2 of them were actually from Altuve. Like in 28 games, he didn't give up any runs, and so to see Yordan get him is a pretty good thing because Stewart's been pretty damn nails.
Well, it's just like them getting Neris. It's just like tit for tat.
And then Duran obviously is just a freak. I mean, he averages 101.8 on his fastball.
Yeah, I do think similar to how we got to Bautista and Cano against the Orioles, I do think we could put runs on him, but you don't want to, like, if they have a lead, that's tough.
He's very, 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 very good.
I mean, Pena had a good swing on him. He would have had a hit if Correa wasn't Correa.
Yes.
Brantley turned around, 101, but he just pulled it to the second baseman. So
yeah, I think at least getting some tape on it and seeing some at bats is probably good, even in a loss. But everything shifts now to Game 3, which is going to be great. It's going to be, I think, a really, really good pitcher's duel. I couldn't put my foot in my mouth. It could be 10-10 in the second inning, but the Astros have been here before. I'm not truly worried. It's a 3-game series. Obviously, home field advantage is now to Minnesota. That crowd's going to be rocking. That crowd's going to be loud.
Oh yeah, they're loud there.
The big thing is that I think Javier is going to have to go 6. If Javi can go 6, I feel in a really, really good spot. It's that 4th and 5th inning.
That's where
that's going to be like, okay,
second time through the order.
Second time through. I don't. With the season now being essential 3-game series, I don't know if they let Javi go a 3rd time through.
I don't think they do. And my take is he gets through 5. If he gets through 5, no runs allowed, we're good. Everything's going to hinge on... I've been saying it. I don't know if I said it on here yet. Our season has, up to this point, I think, kind of hinged on Javier. If he had the season he had last year, this year we win 95-plus games and walk into the postseason no stress. So and now it's just like the season has come down to this series, which is the season, comes down to Javier's start.
Yeah, it's kind of poetic that baseball finds its way where the guy that you kind of hinged everything, gave him an extension. He was the reason why you kind of let Verlander walk.
Yeah.
And now it's on his right arm to do this. And look, he's had playoff success. I mean, the guy's has been nails. It threw a damn new no-hitter in the World Series last year. I do feel like over the last 4 starts, he's rounding back into the form we saw last year.
Yeah, it's weird. A lot of times the pitchers like Verlander, he was like, oh, I found something in mechanics and I have an uptick in velocity. Like Verlander, we've been used to Verlander and Javier being so volatile. They'll have an amazing start and then they'll give up 4 in the first. Javier seemed like it's been more of a curve and less of a spike. He's been slowly figuring stuff out. Like you said, it's that third time through the order. He's had multiple starts over these last 2 months where he looked great in the first 4 innings, and then that 5th, 6th inning comes around, gets in a little trouble, gives up a big double or something like, and then leaves the game with like 5, 6 innings, 3, 4 earned runs. And you're like, ugh. But overall, he's starting to look better. I think like you're talking about that invisible. If those shadows are in there and that invisible is moving, I think it's impossible to hit him. But
so Javi's pitched in 14 games in the postseason. He's thrown 32 innings.
Wow.
He's given up 14 hits, 8 earned.
14 hits in 32 innings?
Yeah. 48 strikeouts, a whip of .918, and supporting a 4-1 record.
What was his ERA?
2.20.
Oh my God, that's
in the
sexy.
postseason. And so obviously his K9 is 13.2. That was a different Christian Javier. Hopefully he can wrangle that in. But the furthest he's ever gone in the playoffs is 6 innings, and that was last year in the World Series when he threw that no hitter.
Yeah.
ALCS was 5 1/3, and then obviously the ALDS he only threw 1 1/3.
My prediction, and I'll take this, is like 5 innings, 1 run.
That'd be great. And if the fastball is playing up, that means a lot of strikeouts. That probably means a high pitch count. If you can get
over
5, if you can get 5 innings from him,
oh, that's huge.
huge.
Here's my take, and this is my final time I'll do a prediction for any Twins fans. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate the comments. Y'all, if the Twins win, y'all, your roses, like you did it. Like you get your shit off. That's fine. My prediction: if Javier goes 5 or 6 innings, allows less than 2 runs, the Astros win the game. JP France shoves in Game 4.
So you don't think this series comes back to Houston?
If Javier does his thing and shoves, and the Astros win, it does not come back to Houston.
I think my prediction was Astros in 4. I definitely thought we'd split the Sonny Gray, Pablo Lopez, one of those two. So obviously now the Astros have to beat Sonny Gray. Yeah, that's interesting. I still think
we can win. I still think we can win at 5 if we lose tomorrow. If Sonny Gray if Javier, struggles, Sonny Gray wins, they win the game. I still think we can win it in 5, but I think it is, that's tough. But I do think JP France shoves in Game 4. I really think he thrives under a postseason environment. He's a dog. I think his changeup plays against a lot of those lefties. I think his cutter plays against a lot of those lefties. His big issue will be like Correa and Royce Lewis. But yeah, I think he shoves. I think he goes like fucking 7 innings. I think he has the start of his life. I mean, his whole career, his whole life has been leading up to playing in the majors, in the postseason. He's probably at his peak this year and next year. Probably he's 28 right now. He's at his peak of his career. I think this is his moment.
Interesting. I don't even know if he gets the Game 4 start. Astros.
That's true.
If the Astros lose tomorrow, I see them moving JV up early.
You think so?
Yes.
You could,
the way this team's been managed this year and the way like the philosophical like old school baseball mentality, they're gonna bring their ace up on 3 days rest and elimination.
You're totally right. You're absolutely right.
Granted, JP could piggyback off that, but the way this team is managed, the way Dusty Baker and the team is employing their game plan, there's no way
JP France starts an elimination game.
Yeah, there's just no way you leave your ace on the bench on 3 days. Like every old school manager's done it in the history of baseball. It'd be
it's tough though with JV's age and arm struggles
100%
this year. So
100%. I don't think it's sharp, but
I just think JP France gets into a postseason game, he balls.
Yeah, I think he has. I said it 4 or 5 months ago. He's Brandon Back. He's He's going to become a October hero of some sorts, I believe.
I don't know if that
the opportunity.
I don't know if that translates over the whole postseason. Once these postseason teams get more tape on him, they're watching him, they've seen him in a postseason game, they're seeing what he's doing. I just think that first game he gets into, he's one of those guys kind of opposite of Framber. Framber needs to be comfortable. Framber needs to be in that rocking chair, be dominating. JP's
very comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's kind of like Lance in that way. Like he's kind of got that dog in him, I think he shoves.
Yeah, and we'll end with I just put it out on Twitter at Paul Doesn't Want and Apollo HOU to any questions from some fans, and we'll dive into those and end it. But I do feel like Minnesota feels that they have the advantage from here on out. Obviously, home field, that place is gonna be rocking, and a lot of the questions I got and being at the stadium. And even Carlos talking about it, Royce Lewis talking about it. The crowd was non-existent at Minute Maid Park. At least on Sunday when I was there. I can't really speak for Saturday. Obviously, Sunday when you're down that quick, it's gonna
tough.
take the win.
There was really not much to cheer
There's
about.
not much, and there's on the other side too with Pablo Lopez just filling up the zone the way he did and attacking the hitters.
But
just strikes.
I tell you what though, if we're up like 3-0 in the 4th inning in Minnesota, and they get a guy on base, even scoring position, they're on their feet.
Oh, 1,000%.
And that's the difference. I think the Astros can be loud when the moment is there. Like we do have Astros fans do have wherewithal of like obviously like bottom of the 8th and we got a guy on 3rd. Like
it's the
we
little
got
things.
But throughout the entire game, having the I guess stamina, maybe that's the thing. We've just been so spoiled by it. But to get up in the 3rd inning when you have a guy in scoring position in a big moment, we don't seem to do that.
Yeah, and I feel like we've been so spoiled in this stretch run of the last 7-8 years where ALDS games have kind of just become social parties.
Yeah.
Where you take your clients.
You can almost plan it for the next year. Like, next ALDS, I'll take it. Yeah.
It's for the gram. You're gonna get your likes. You're gonna get all the social clout. Where on the flip side, Minnesota's been hungry for 20 plus years for this moment. Yeah. So it's not really comparing apples to apples because it's
the Astros. Astros fans of 2015 were just I mean
that's and even 17 and 18. I just think we've been in it so long. It's just we're so accustomed to it. Where
take it for granted.
Flip side, and you can't compare it because it's like these fans have been waiting for 20 years. It's gonna be rocking. It's gonna be loud.
Oh yeah, there's lifelong. There's kids that grew up, since they were 5 watching the Twins, and they've never seen them win a postseason game
until last week.
So they're gonna, they're in their 20s now. They're gonna fucking go crazy, which it's just human nature. That's kind of hard to avoid. But
I will say the crowd last night was lackluster. I'll give the benefit of the doubt of just you got punched in the mouth early, and then we couldn't score because Pablo.
It was a very frustrating game.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't a great Sunday night. Wasn't a great sports weekend in general. If you're a Longhorn fan, an Aggie
if you're
fan,
from Texas at all,
besides the South Oklahoma, the South Oklahoma baseball team was the only one that won in the state.
I forgot.
But yeah, let's just answer some of these questions real quick, and we'll end the episode. This is from our guy Dex. Why do the Astros hate me personally? It's 1-1. It's 1-1. I'm not too worried yet. It's definitely there. Someone just said sadness. Someone said, when I said what y'all want to talk about on Beyond the Diamond, L Max says things within the diamond. Is that possible? Yeah. The within the diamond itself, I think, is the universe. Or is it oyster? What was it? Pearl? There's a philosophical saying. I'll look it up. Gage asks, how awful is the crowd? How are y'all feeling in this unfamiliar territory? Talk me off the ledge.
This is not. I'll say this.
Is not unfamiliar.
This is not unfamiliar at all. 2020 was it 2017 or 19? Where 17. ALCS lost first 2 games at home. Had to go to New York City. Down 0-2 in the ALCS.
Win?
I think it was 17 or 19.
No, 17. We lost all 3 in New York. We went 2-3-2.
No, it was 19. It was 19. We lost. We split. We got punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
And we went to New York.
We lost game 1. Game 2, Correa hit the home run off Paxton.
Yeah.
To walk it off to split the series.
Yeah. And that was, there's multiple times where, 19,
last year.
19 World Series. We went to
0-2. Yeah.
Washington down.
We sound, all these Minnesota Twin fans are like, why all these examples? Because we've been here.
Yeah.
2, I think this is the Philadelphia Phillies series right after they got to Lance. Phillies are up 2-1. All the momentum. They think this series is not going back to Houston at all.
Yeah, it became a 3-game series.
And became a 3-game series. I think that's kind of where we are. Minnesota has momentum. Minnesota has their 1B ace on the mound. Against Astros number 3. Yeah. And I feel like they think that Vegas Spasm at minus 150.
They
favorite?
should. I mean, if baseball wasn't baseball and past did not matter and experience did not matter, going into this game, you would absolutely be like, all right, well, Twins are going to win.
Yeah.
But you just
They've been
cannot
here
count
before.
out Jose Altuve, Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, Alex Bregman. Michael Brandt. They've all been there. They all know how to win.
Yeah.
If the Astros lose, they lose. But like, I'm not ever going to be like, oh, it's over.
And we're road warriors. We've been road warriors. Another question. This is from at Cash Considered. That's considered. Yeah, that's a good one. Stros 91. On a scale of 1 to John Schneider pulling Berrios in the 4th, how indefensible is Dusty's refusal to pinch it for Maldi in the 5th?
Ooh, we didn't even touch on that yet.
That's actually really good question. I was extremely frustrated with a runner on first, no outs, and Maldi up, and you're not bunting. They had the third baseman playing deep.
We're talking about the 5th when he grounded a double play.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think that was a third.
That was a third.
That's what I was upset about. This is before the 5th.
Yeah.
So the third inning.
Yeah, I was upset about that. He should have been bunting, or should
take
Pena, all the way.
Get Pena to second, and then you have Altuve Bregman with 2 opportunities to drive in Jeremy.
That went to a 3-2 count, right?
Yes.
You do a hit and run on 3-2 count. Least.
It's a really good. That's actually what they should have done if you weren't going to bunt.
Yeah.
I was fuming. He grounds in double play. Altuve at first pitch ropes a single that would have scored Jeremy.
So many little moments like that where you just didn't do the little things right.
That's frustrating. I'm frustrated again. I'm really upset. I'm so I didn't even drink at the game. I didn't even drink last night at the game, and that's maybe 1. I was at the game. That's probably the problem.
Yeah.
2. I didn't drink. That was probably the problem. God.
And the thing is, look,
get the bunt down.
Talk you down for a minute.
Let's get the bunt down.
That probably doesn't change the outcome of the game.
100%
because he's still dealing.
But it's now the third inning. You got to run on him now.
Exactly. But you never know. It's the unknown. It's the doing the little marginal things right to give yourself the best chance to win.
But baseball never fails to do that, because I was like, Altuve's getting. I told everyone in the section, Altuve's getting a single right here on this at bat, because the game plan and what you should get him over, get him in. And we didn't get him over. Ground and double play. The next pitch is a base hit to left field that wasn't really scorched. It was enough to where if you hit a ball hard in left field at Minute Maid Park, you're probably not going to score a run for second base just because of the dimensions of the field. But if you hit it soft enough
especially with Jeremy Pena running,
he's scoring on that.
Yeah. And
so I was just like, fucking baseball never failed. Anyways.
Then he's talking about the 5th when Framber is out of the game.
Out of the game.
That's where it's tough. Well, look, we've defended Dusty a lot. We've talked about how you can disagree with a manager and still like the man and still be like, it's just baseball. Nobody should be getting crazy about this. But it's okay to criticize a decision. And I think I think 95% of Astros fans probably agree. Even the stands that love Maldi, which I like Maldi. There's no reason Maldonado should be hitting in the 5th with Framber out of the game and a runner on base.
And down
when you have
down
5. You don't need defense. You need offense at this point. Did he answer any questions on that after the game?
I turned it. I drove in silence.
I'm very curious about his reasoning, especially since he pinch hit for him his next at bat. It's like, if you're gonna do it, give yourself. It's like we said, it might be a 1% chance, like 1% increase in your chance to win the game, but you got to make all those decisions. They add up to a potential chance to win the game.
Yeah, I just can't get over the not bunting and then into double play.
I think that was the most predictable. I was literally saying, I was sitting there at Big City Wings, shout out Big City Wings, sitting at Big City Wings, watching the game, and I was like, if I could quickly pull up a live bet, if I could find one right now and bet, it'd probably still be like plus 500 for a double play at this moment. I would put $100 on it.
Yeah,
because it was just so predictable. It's like 60% double play, 40% strikeout.
Yeah. The next two comments, not even questions. This is from Sam. With the B is silent. That's a great one. He goes, "You go to Cancun," and then Trollington Lord says, "Live look at ticket flights to Cancun. Stay in the villa to get this postseason run really
we
started."
need to get you out of
For
here.
all the people that are new to Apollo, last year I missed the World Series. I was in Cancun for a wedding. I was in, and they won. And so now everyone wants me to go back to Mexico.
Yeah, go back to Mexico.
That's what everyone's saying on the
Everybody's
internet.
telling
to
you
me.
to go back to Mexico.
Everyone's just saying that. So I may go back to Cancun because something needs to happen. Another comment, just back to basics, plate discipline edition, 100%. I think last night though was just a story of
He's just in his spot. I mean,
It
there's
was in
nothing
his-
you can do when he keeps pumping 97 in
was
on the
dotting.
hands on the corner, and then so we didn't even talk about his stuff. I was
dotted. It was
rewatching.
fucking dotted.
He was working that. He had that 97 fastball.
That
He
was
was
a sweeper.
working a 95 sinker off of the fastball, which was nasty. Like that's where we kept rolling over on those. And then he was working a sweeper off that, and then he would bust a changeup.
Yeah, Pablo's really good. I said on the preview pod that the 3 above average starters that they have are capable of doing starts like that, and Pablo Lopez did, and that's why they made that trade.
I mean, just an example. Yordan Alvarez is probably the hottest hitter on the planet right now.
Say him and Correa.
Yeah. I mean, he hit 2 bombs yesterday. He hit a bomb tonight as soon as Pablo Lopez came out of the game.
Yeah.
So that's just a testament, and Pablo Lopez struck him out.
Yeah.
Because he threw the nastiest changeup.
That changeup
down and away, which is exactly where Framber was
and then
missing.
gassing him up high.
Yeah. I mean, it's just...
You don't get Yordan expanding his zone, and you don't really blow a fastball by him above his hands to get him to swing. It was just a great sequencing.
It's just, not much you can do there.
This is just a comment from John. Bats going cold. Can't expect to win 1-0 every night. Twins punch back in game 2. How will the road shows respond? 100% agree. Last night was just baseball. Just a good pitcher won a game. And then this person, the last one, just listed kind of stuff out. We can just kind of shuffle through, and we mainly touched on all of them. The lame crowd, the boon of Correa, the Dusty Amaldi, Yordan homering, McCormick and Framber struggles, Lopez shutting the offense down and heading over to Minnesota as a great road team. I think the bottom of the lineup needs to string some stuff together. I think they will. We had opportunities early, just didn't really cash them in. Yeah. And then we're a road team. So, look, it's going to be loud. It's going to be a lot of boos. The boys feed off it just like Correa feeds off it. So, I'm expecting 3 really good baseball games. I think they come back to Houston game 5. I will tell you right now, I will not attend game 5 of the ALDS if it's here. I will sacrifice that.
We'll put you on a green screen with Cancun in the background.
Yes.
You can, but you can't watch the game. It's just a live feed.
Just
of
a
you,
live
feed of you, like just drinking like an old fashioned with Cancun behind
I'll
you.
be drinking margaritas, dog.
You just have to go by what the chat is saying to you about how the game's going.
Yeah,
that's actually I want to do that.
That sounds torture. I will not be in attendance for Game 5 of the LDS. I will make sure I will not.
You know what though?
I will not do that.
I was at
if we get back to Game 5.
I was at every single home game last year. We won the World Series, so, and I haven't gone to any games yet this playoff. So
that could be the one.
Send your tickets my way. Send your tickets my way. All right, well, that's our preview for games 1 and 2, or our recap of games 1 and 2, our preview of games 3 and 4. If it does go to game 5, we'll have another podcast for you Thursday, wrapping up games 3 and 4. And I think we will be streaming tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we'll do a live stream on our YouTube channel.
This YouTube channel
you're watching currently. We will be doing a sidecast, I guess is the correct term.
Yeah, we'll call it ball watching
cast.
Just watch along with us, whether it's in misery or triumph. We will be there with you every step of the way, giving our takes.
Game 4, we may go out and about. I don't know. We'll see how
game 4
goes.
Keep an eye on our socials. We might be doing a ball watching party somewhere.
Yeah.
Or we will be
hanging out,
doing live stream again. Either way, we will be with you in some capacity to hang out and enjoy or share in misery together on whatever happens the rest of the playoffs.
100%. Thank you to Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, and Paul's Wing Joint. Zing Zang Bloody Blazing Bloody Mary Mix made with vodka. Ready in it. Just pour it. Just pour it. She's ready. She's ready.
Drinking her out of the bottle.
For the afternoon games, little breakfast.
We probably will have some on the stream tomorrow.
Yeah, the boys will. Yeah. And then Celebrity Mint. Shout out to Kenny Duncan Jr., Matthew Duncan, disruptors of the space, going to New York City to do disrupting things in October like the Astros have done in the past. Go follow them at the Celebrity Mint. So shout out to all our sponsors, and that is the ALDS Game 1 and 2 pod.
All right, probably.
We'll see you
either
tomorrow.
way, we'll be back with you. We'll be back with you Thursday. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. But either way, the pod will be back Thursday in whatever capacity it is. Hopefully, it's a ALDS recap of going on the ALCS.
Why would you say that?
I said hopefully.
Why would you say that?
We'll never know. We'll be with you Thursday. Let's see what happens. All right. I'm Josh. That's Dez. That's been Beyond the Diamond. We will see you later.
Peace. See you guys.